Hi, it's Cindy, that crafting lady. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a challenge hosted by Melissa Makes It DIY and myself. It is called Picture This. You could craft anything you wanted as long as it had a picture frame in it. So Melissa's channel will be linked below along with the playlist, so make sure you check them out. Let's get started. Okay, for this project, I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree wood cutouts and a picture frame. I'm not sure where I got this. I've had it for a long time. It was a 2-pack. A piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and that's about it. So the first thing we need to do is to take the back out of the picture frame. I probably should have used a little screwdriver or something because these were really in there. This is definitely not a dollar store picture frame. I'm not sure where I got it though. As I said, I've had it forever. It's really nice though. All right, so I'm going to take that out and hold on to it. This I'm going to use in there, and I don't need the glass, which is actually plastic. So we're just going to set that off to the side, and I can use it for something else. So we'll set the picture frame off to the side for now, and I'm going to take the piece of paper to help me measure the piece of scrapbook paper. I want to cut it the same size. And I'm just going to use my little Fiskars cutter here. You can use, oops, no, don't put it that way. Turn it, turn it. There we go. If you turn it the right way, it makes life so much easier. Anyways, you can use scissors if you want. You can use a guillotine cutter, whatever you have. I just had this handy, so I grabbed it, and we're going to use it. And I'm going to cut it again the other way, just as I said, so that it matches real well. And I want it the exact size so that it'll fit in the frame nice and flat. There we go. I like both sides of this paper, but I really like the, I think those are hydrangeas on there. They're really pretty. All right, so now we're going to set the paper in the frame. And I even left the backing in there just to give it a little more stability. And then I'll put the back on the frame and push those little pitons down. There we go. Secure it nice. And it was that easy, guys. And it looks great, just as it is. All right, so now we're going to take the little Be Mine wood cutout, and I think I've got 6 different hearts. So I'm going to put them down where I think I want them. I kind of like them at a little bit of an angle. My husband says if it's not a right angle, it's a wrong angle, but not in my book. I like things a little cockeyed and wonky. So, not quite loving how they're laid out, so I'm going to move things around just a little bit. Just, you know, these are your crafts, so if you like it a different way, do it a different way. I could have painted the frame too, but I really like the white of that frame with the dark of the wood and the really pretty pastels on the paper. Now I'm doing is taking my Surebonder, because of course you've got to stick with the best, and I'm just going to glue these onto the piece of paper. And that's basically this whole craft done. Can't get any easier than this. As I said, Melissa and I wanted to do something a little different, so we wanted to take some picture frames and just make them into some really nice decor for your home. And since Valentine's Day is, you know, about a month away, I really thought that something Valentine-y, but not the traditional colors, would be really nice. And that's why I chose this. Plus, I was able to get these hearts at the Dollar Tree. There weren't many left when I was there. They went very quickly. I think they put them out that morning, and they were almost gone by the end of the day. And actually, when I went back the next day, they were all gone. there was one pack of, I think, little ladybugs of the wood cutouts left, and there was a whole section of them, a whole bunch of different ones, roses and other cutouts. So that's the one thing that I've noticed when you're at the Dollar Tree, get it. If you see it, you like it, get it, because it may not be there when you go back. All right, we'll get our glue strings out of the way and glue on the last little heart, and we'll call this one good. There we go. I think it looks good. What do you think? Let's turn it around so you can see it. There you go. I think it looks great. Okay, for this project, I'm using another picture frame. This one's a 4x6, and some more of those wood cutouts that I got from the Dollar Tree, and a heart sign that I got from the Dollar Tree, a piece of cardboard, and a piece of scrap burlap. And that's basically it for this one too. These are really easy today. So the first thing I'm going to do again is take the picture frame apart so I can measure how big I need to cut the burlap and the cardboard. So turn it over and do the same thing. Now this is definitely a Dollar Tree frame. Those little pitons were much harder to get out. Now all I really need is the piece of paper as a guide. The glass and the other thing I'm not going to use right now. So we'll set those off to the side, and I'll use those for another project. And I'm not going to use my cutter on this one because it's a little thicker, so I'm just going to use some scissors to cut this. This is a back off of an old writing pad that I had, and I'm just repurposing it instead of throwing it out. So those trash to treasure things are great. I love, that reduce, reuse, recycle. Definitely is words to live by. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut the burlap. Make sure that fits. Yep. And then we'll cut our burlap. I think if I were going to do this again, instead of cutting the burlap the way that I'm going to show you here, I would either mark it with a pencil or just glue it down and then cut it, which is probably how I should have, but I just kind of laid the burlap underneath, held it down, and cut around. It worked. It's all good. Comes out in the end, right? There we go. No, it wasn't quite even, so got to cut off the other end too. Get that out of the way. I'm just going to go straight up. It doesn't have to be quite exact because the picture frame will cover part of it if it's not exactly even. Here we go. That looks good. Cut a little off this edge too, just had a couple stragglers. Just a little teeny bit. Get rid of those. All right, let's see where we're at now. Let's see what it looks like first, and then we'll glue it all together. Looks good to me. All right, so on this one, I'm just going to use some fabric tack. I love fabric tack, especially when I'm using it with burlap and things like that. Doesn't really, as long as you don't push real hard, it doesn't show through the fabric at all. And you don't really need a lot. It looks like I'm putting down a lot, but it's a very thin line. There's not like a big glob of glue coming out, so it's really not a lot on there. Like I said, just gently press. You don't have to go crazy. You just want to press it in just so that it adheres. And that's it. We're done. Go ahead and put it in the frame and put the frame back together. The frame was a little deep, so what I ended up doing was grabbing that, because you can see there's a spacer on it, and I just put it back in so that the frame would fit nicely and it wouldn't be all sloppy in there. There, that worked. So that looks good, but I'll still use the matte and the glass in maybe another project at some other time. All right, now we're going to take our hearts, and out of these, I only really want to use one, and it doesn't matter which one because they're all basically the same shape. They just have different pictures on them, but we're not going to use the picture side. We're actually going to use the back side. There's a little glue residue on there, and it just came off pretty good with my fingers, so that's not too bad. And now I'm going to take my Waverly white chalk paint and give it 2 good coats, and I make sure to paint the edges too. The next thing I'm going to do is take some of the Waverly Antique wax, and I'm just going to kind of dry brush it on. I'm not sure that I like the effect as much. I think I might have did it a different way next time. If I do one again, maybe I'll change it up a little, but I kind of brushed one way and then the other and kind of rubbed it a little and then added here and there, but I think I might have added a little more to it if I did it again. But that's it, basically. Just make it until you like it. These are your crafts. Do them the way that you like them. And then I took that rose wood cutout from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue that right into the center of my heart. And I love hearts, not just at Valentine's Day. I love hearts all the time because my last name, my maiden name is Hart. But it is spelled just H-A-R-T, not H-E-A-R-T. All right. And make sure I'm doing this the right direction, whichever way is up on the picture frame. And see how I like it. Put some hot glue on the back. I just kind of went around real quick, like, not a lot. It doesn't really need a lot. It's just a picture. It's not going to be yanked on or anything. And then just go ahead and position it where I want it and stick it down. And we're going to call this one done too. I like it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And for this picture frame DIY, I'm going to use some more of those Dollar Tree wood cutouts. A nice picture frame that looks like was for a baby, and another picture frame, but we're really only going to use one piece of that second picture frame, and some burlap. Again, I love the look of burlap. It's very farmhouse, very country. It's really one of the nice looks that I have in my house. I like it. So this is a really interesting frame. It doesn't really have the pitons that you lift up. It just has these little plastic things that you have to kind of sneak it by, and I have no clue where I got this picture frame from. So I have no idea. As I said, I've got a bunch of picture frames that I've had forever, and I have no idea where I got them. So put that aside and take the glass out, and again, I'll use that somewhere. Sometime, I'm sure we'll see it. And again, I'm going to go ahead and use the back of the picture frame and cut out my burlap. And on this one, I did use a pencil to trace it out and cut it. So there we go. Perfect. And then just cut the burlap and we're good. As you can see, the rest of the burlap is kind of wrinkly and stuff, but where I'm cutting is flat, and that's because I ironed it. But I didn't quite iron everything out. There is still that little crease in it, but that's okay. Just gives it more character. So now we're going to set our burlap on our back. And again, I'm using fabric tack with my burlap, and I'm just going to glue that down. I really should store my fabric tack upside down so you can see it. But you can see that's really thin. There's not a lot of glue. It's not a lot of glabby and things like that. It's just a thin amount, and it will really hold this burlap in place. I love Fabri-Tac, and it's not just for fabric. You can use it for a lot of other things, and it has a really good hold. And that's it. Smooth it out and pop it back into our frame. And this took a little finagling. I didn't want to break those little tabs off, so you just kind of have to lift it up and pop it underneath. But it took me just a couple of minutes here, not a long time, but it wasn't as easy as some of the other frames. Clip of some of the burlap kind of snuck out there. Make sure that it's under all those little clips. Kind of have to bend it a little and then push it under. There, they're all done. And there's our burlap. And I like that crease. It kind of gives it like a little line at the bottom. Maybe I'll add, I didn't do it, but maybe I'll add some lace there or something. Cover it. I don't know. Right now I'm not going to though. All right, so I took the other frame apart and I had to unscrew the little clip from the metal piece, because that's all I really want is the clip and the metal piece. The other part of the frame I'll use again in another project. So I'm going to place things where I think I want them first, and then we'll see what we want to do. So I'm going to use my Surebonder, stick with the best, and just put some good glue on the bottom, on the back of that, because it's corrugated, so it's not going to stick. It's only going to hit the burlap in certain spots. So there we go. I want it to that side, so press it down, and I made sure that that little hole where the clip is at the top there, and I'm going to add some hot glue right where the hole was, because I'm not going to screw it back down. I'm just going to glue it, and then I'll set the clip into the hot glue and it will hold it there very well. Right, and I took my forever word, and I'm going to put that at a little bit of an angle over there. And as I said, this isn't really a Valentine's Day craft. It can be for Valentine's Day, but I think this would look nice out all year long. And I like the gray on the frame. I like how it looks. If you wanted to change it out, though, you could paint it. You could paint it white. You could paint it off-white. You could antique it. You know, again, they're your crafts. Do them how you like them. This is what I wanted to do. And then put a little bit of glue there and set my heart into it. And I'm going to call this one done too. There you go. Let me know in the comments what you think and which one is your favorite project. And then I can leave my hubby little notes and says, love you. See. So here are all three of my completed picture frame projects for Picture This, a collaboration with myself and Melissa Makes It DIY. Check out her channel and the playlist. They're both linked in the description box below. I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I would appreciate you doing so. Click the bell icon. You'll be notified when I upload more videos. And until next video, live fully, love deeply, and learn something new every day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.